All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of To the Show Baseball Podcast. We're presented by Beyond the Monster. I am your host, Andrew Parker, and I am joined as well by my co-host, Hayden Juenger of the Toronto Blue Jays on this episode that we actually had one of the newest members of the Toronto Blue Jays on. We had Spencer Miles, who was selected in the MLB Rule 5 draft by the Blue Jays from the San Francisco Giants. So Spencer's got such a fascinating story. Obviously, he's a University of Missouri guy, so much love to a fellow Tiger there. But, he missed all of 2025. He has only pitched 10 professional innings since he was drafted, just due to various injuries. And obviously, he had Tommy John and ended up coming back in the Arizona Fall League for the Giants, and obviously caught the eye of the Blue Jays, where they ended up taking him in the first round of the MLB Rule 5 draft. So we do talk to him about being in his new org. Obviously, he is now teammates with Hayden, so we do dive into that a little bit. But before I do shoot to the interview, whether you're watching this on YouTube right now or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is that you get your podcast, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Follow us on our Twitter page, on our Instagram page. Anything helps. I'm making a big push on YouTube right now. It's a newer page, just trying to get that up. I will quit yakking here, and without further ado, I will shoot you on to the interview with Spencer Miles. All right, Spencer, you have one of the more fascinating journeys, in my point of view, from being around minor league baseball and just baseball in general over the last few years. And it has ultimately led you to being selected in the Rule 5 draft by the Toronto Blue Jays. And, so that whole process has gone on in the last week and a half. So for yourself, what has life been like since being chosen by Toronto and getting started over there?
Mm-hmm. It's been pretty surreal. It still hasn't fully set in. I've been hurt for the past 3 seasons or whatnot, and then I finally get healthy and I get to go play in the fall league. And I guess I showed out a little bit for them or something. They picked me, but it's been weird. It's almost like a little imposter syndrome. Getting selected there and then going over to the facility and like being in the major league clubhouse and everything. So it doesn't quite feel real yet, but I'm sure it'll set in at some point. And then I got to obviously face big league hitters now, so I'm going to have to do it at some point.
With you not having pitched at all in 2025, obviously being hurt and pitching for the first time in the fall league, was that something on your radar of possibly being taken in the Rule 5 draft at all? Or what was your thoughts on the whole situation?
It had been talked about and mentioned like, oh, you're by some teammates actually. That's about it. Like you're eligible for Rule 5, like blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, like I didn't give it much thought just because of the sample size. There's no sample size, with me and whatnot. But obviously going to the Arizona Fall League and playing like at that level of baseball after being hurt, and proving yourself well, I think it goes a long way, maybe even longer than I would have thought, just simply due to the fact that you haven't been competing. And you go back out to that level of competition and show that you can still showcase your stuff. The stuff is still there, and then like strike throwing capabilities and hitting some spots is still there, after not competing for 3 years essentially. So I think that speaks volumes to the Rule 5, and maybe they thought that was really attractive or whatnot. So, but yeah, I was not giving it much thought originally before the fall league, and then as the fall league comes around, my agent had mentioned something about it, but also said like the sample size isn't quite there, and so we're kind of uneasy on the idea. But then this past week, he was like blowing my phone up a little bit and saying that he was at the winter meetings and he was going to make something happen, and sure enough, it did. So I'm super fortunate and blessed that it did.
Yeah, you just mentioned the sample size, and I had to go back and actually triple check. I saw that you have only thrown, prior to the AFL, you had only thrown, I think, 10 career minor league innings prior to being selected. So for yourself, I guess just having that opportunity after missing the whole year in 25 and getting that chance to kind of, like you said, you showed off a little bit in the AFL, and Toronto obviously liked what they saw. Like, how important was that for you to get into the AFL action and actually throw for the first time in a couple of years?
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking to my career, I think it wasn't do or die, but like for the fast track after the injury and me being 25, I think for the fast track like route, whatever, I think it was pretty much do or die. I think the Giants really liked me, so I felt safe there in the sense like they were going to give me a shot still. But I think definitely like getting to the bigs quicker, throwing in the fall league was paramount. And making that happen, and then like throughout the rehab process, specifically 2025, like getting my elbow back to shape, and then finally like I started throwing 100% bullpens, and they were seeing the flashes come back, and so they were pretty confident that without any setbacks in my Tommy John throwing program and the mound progressions, that I was going to get a chance at the fall league, and they were going to put my name in. So it was like, I mean, it seems like it's been hard, but just staying healthy throughout that throwing progression, and seeing what happens. So, and it flourished, so it was good.
I might have a question for both of you guys. Like, obviously, I know Hayden's got a lot more time, facing hitters at each level. And something unique, I think, in Spencer's situation is, he, on paper, he's never pitched up, against batters above high A. But obviously, with the fall league, you had guys, obviously, that were above high A in the fall league this past fall. But I guess, Hayden, my question for you, you're a guy that obviously rose through the minors pretty quickly. You've been in AAA now for the last few seasons. Like, what did you think was the biggest, I guess, change for yourself going from like, high A to the AA level to the AAA level? Like, what was the, I guess, something that kind of you had to face adversity a little bit going up?
I would say for me, going from pro ball to high A, there was really no challenge. And if we went my opinion, it was like basically playing SEC baseball, in my opinion, every single day. Because it was when you face the SEC schools, it was, 1 through 9 could probably swing it a little bit, but 8, 9, not as much. Well, in pro ball, it was like, hey, they can all swing it, but they don't have an approach. And so it's kind of just like the old saying, if you can pitch backwards, you'll succeed. And so that's kind of what I did. Double A, it was kind of the same thing. It was more of the older guys that are in Double A for the last couple of years that, maybe don't have the talent, but they are smart enough to get through. And then you have the young guys that are swinging. But really, I think for me, it was Triple A. And it wasn't necessarily the first year I was there or the half the season I was there. Like, I was kind of naive to everything, just kind of trusting my stuff. Here it is. Voila, I'm in a land that I've never been in before, and I'm succeeding. So everything's great. The next year, they incorporate ABS. That was for me the hard part because I could no longer just throw right here's at the top, spin down, and they were laying off. They were boxing me up. So I kind of had to relearn how to pitch again because I couldn't just throw my heels at the top because those are now balls and anything down was all speed. And so now it's like you're 2-0 against these really good hitters that are basically big league hitters at this point, and it's just don't fall behind. And ultimately, I think taking a full season of that, and I was 22, 23 at the time, so it was still for me it was very young, but it was like, well, I just fast tracked here. Everybody expects me to get to the big leagues, and then trying to have to do that, and then just reworking the way I've had to like kind of retool the way I've faced hitters. And I would say the one thing for Spencer too, like I mean, I've seen some of your stuff. Like it ultimately doesn't matter when it comes down to, oh, I have 10 innings. Like the stuff's there, and it's just gonna be trust your stuff and don't.
Mhm.
My advice to you going into spring training, because you're gonna be in a little bit different spot than I'll be in, of like you kind of have to make the team essentially, but
Mhm.
it's when you're facing, Springer or Vladdy or, whoever, Barger, whoever it may be, like just trust your stuff. Like stuff's plenty good. Don't psych yourself out just because it's a quote unquote big league name hitter.
Yeah.
It's no different than being on a backfield facing your buddy that's in low A with you or double A with
Mhm.
you. So that would be my uh, just advice to you.
Yeah. I appreciate the advice.
Yeah.
I think for me, I obviously haven't played in Double A or Triple A. I think they say the Arizona Fall League somewhere in between like High A and Double A in terms of hitting or hitters or whatnot. But I think I'm in such a different body and mindset now. Like I can actually control a zone and like throw some balls to where I want to. Whereas in college and the SEC, the hitters were obviously really good. Like you said, 1 through 9 could probably swing it. Maybe some don't have any pop, but like 1 through 4 or 5 probably have pop and a tool, and they're probably going to play professional baseball. But I think I was just all stuff back then in college and not much game plan or mental
Hmm.
strength. And so coming into now, like 3 years in rehab, I think now it's just a lot easier for me to like slow the game down, slow the moment down, and throw a pitch and a count to where I want to essentially. So I think, like you said, just be myself, let my stuff eat, and yeah, ultimately just be myself in spring training and make the team with that type of mindset and confidence.
So, for people that may not be familiar with you, just because of obviously, like we've talked about, just not been pitching in a while. What kind of pitcher are you now post coming back from Tommy John? And I guess how would you describe yourself on the mound?
Um, well, that's a funny thing. I think I get a lot of questions like, well, I think assuming this new role, I'm a reliever for sure, as they have Bieber, Gossman, Trey, Savage. Like the starting roles are kind of taken, and that has been my role, and like that's what I was rehab back to be. But I think I'm going to assume a bullpen role or whatnot. So, but that's not necessarily always been my identity. So now I think like my pitching style is like I come at you hard and I come at you fast. Like I don't quick pitch necessarily, but I mean I don't waste any time. I get the ball, I get the sign, and I'm probably coming at you with a four seam, a sinker, or a cutter in some capacity, a harder pitch, and then maybe 2 strikes. I'll throw a changeup or a curveball. But yeah, I would say I come at you hard and fast, and that's kind of the tempo and motto I keep on the mound, and maybe a little swagger too with that.
You were kind of talking about some of the arms the Blue Jays have now, especially in the
Hmm.
starting rotation. Oh, the team as a whole, obviously, and
Yeah.
I know and Hayden knows this obviously very well as having played with a lot of those guys that were on that team, making a run to the World Series this past year. And for yourself, getting to join an organization like Toronto, does that excite you at all? Just knowing that like this team is pretty serious about contending for a World Series every year now, and what does that do, I guess, when you do go to an organization like that?
Yeah. I think that's part of the surreal feeling I was talking about. Like they were just in the World Series like 3 months ago. And like I came from San Francisco and I was in a good spot. Like I played in the fall league. I was probably gonna get like a major league invite or whatnot. But then you get Rule 5 Major League and like pretty much I have to make the roster to stay. Which means I'm on the World Series team, which is just kind of it's baffling to think about. But I think it's really cool and yeah, it's an honor to be asked to do something like that, and they think highly of you, and they think that it is possible, and your skill set can work with that type of roster and team, which is so special. And they just made the World Series. So, oh, did we lose them?
Yeah, and
Oh, there we go.
no, I'm here. And I think that's also something that, and Hayden had talked about in a previous episode we did with one of his former teammates, Will Robertson. But, it's having all those guys that Hayden got to play with over the last few years, like, the Addison Bargers and the
Hmm.
Ernie Clements of the world that, may have not have been household names coming into this past payoff, but now everybody knows who Addison Barger is. Everybody knows who
Hmm.
Ernie Clement is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who just all these pitchers are. Now, Trey Savage is now a household name. I mean,
Hmm.
he's an absolute stud. But
Yeah.
so for, I guess, like going into spring training, now that we are I'm pretty sure we're less than 2 months out from official report dates, I think, for pitchers and catchers, because I believe that's early February, the official date. What are you going to be doing the rest of this offseason now that you are, you're a fresh new member now of the Blue Jays?
Yeah. Well, I've been going in the past couple of days, and I'll probably continue to go in. And I'm meeting the staff and getting the strength coaches, and then the pitching staff as well. I think we're going to need a game plan for my throwing program since I just stopped throwing in the fall league not too long ago, and get me in a capacity where I can pitch on opening day of spring training, but like just perfectly. And then I think maintaining weight and strength is a good thing that I want to do. I don't think I need any more weight, and I definitely don't want to lose weight. I don't want to be any lighter or anything. But yeah, rolling with that, and then what was the rest of the question?
It's just what do you got planned up until spring
Oh,
training?
I'm gonna come back down after. I'm gonna go to Missouri for Christmas with my girlfriend, and then we're gonna spend some Christmas up there, and then come back. I think the facility opens up on the 5th of January, and I'm just gonna hit the ground running with them and work out every day. And I'm gonna starting next week, I'm gonna start throwing 4 days a week to get the volume back in my arm. Maybe get off the mound early January in a super light capacity, kind of touch and feels, and then mid to late January, I'll start hurling some balls off the mound to get me ready for February. I think what is it, 18th or the 21st or something?
Yeah,
It's somewhere in there. Yeah.
But yeah, somewhere
I
around there.
think I think last year, I will say this too. I mean, you'll meet Pete and them. Uh, like day one, like we're rocking. Like it's funny because some guys think like, yo, you'll come in and like that was me. Uh, with I don't know. I mean, I haven't gotten an invite to big league camp this year yet,
Mhm.
but the last three I've been in, it's kind of funny because the first year they were like, oh, just come in, you know, eyes down, ears open, just do your thing, and
Mhm.
you do that every year. But I didn't expect it to be like day one. We're throwing full on bullpens,
Yeah.
especially for when you're not a guy, when you're not a Jeff Hoffman, a guy like that where it's hey, you got time, you're gonna be on the roster. You are the guys that throw right away, and
Yeah.
so it was good now knowing that going in. It's like okay, like this year I'm doing stuff a little bit different than I have in the past for multiple reasons, but excuse me, it was just kind of like it's good to know that stuff going forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and they've talked to me a little bit about like because of the injury history too. Like, don't push yourself to the point where like we get ready maybe a week early. Like, we need these weeks to really matter and make them really worth it, and like really protect your arm so that we're cutting it close, but we're not risking injury or any soreness or anything that you feel like take that day off or whatever, and then we'll build you back for the back end of February, which I
For sure.
appreciate, and I think it's good for my health as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I heard from a birdie that down in the AFL you got up to 98.5. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was like 98.4 or 5, something like that. So
Okay. Was that kind of how you were before TJ and everything, or is that something new since you came back?
um yeah, I was definitely a hard thrower before, but I was, like I said, like my new body and my new strength. I would say I used to be so explosive and quick twitch, and I was 190 pounds before. Really, last time anyone saw me throw, I was 190 pounds, and I was throwing. I think I was up to 99, but now like the threshold and I think the margin for error, like in terms of throwing strikes around the zone at like a 90% effort clip or whatever, 100%. I think it has become a lot easier and more sustainable. I could probably go 50% as long now with the new added strength and weight. So um, I think I've been a hard thrower, but definitely a lot safer now. Like, I got the brakes to do it.
What are you? You said you were. You said before the last time people saw you throw, you were like 190. What are you sitting at now? Like, what is your
I was
goal? I
like
guess going into the season.
220. I want to
Okay.
maintain like that 220, maybe plus two, minus two, that buffer somewhere in there. But I think that's a safe weight for me at like 6'3" and a half, 6'3". So 220. I'm athletic, springy, and we'll just maintain that. And I mean, if the view, I mean, like when we're throwing in the off season, Hayden, like you're like, shoot, the velo might not be there, and then you start searching or whatever. But like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just gonna trust the process and be like, I'm 220. I'm gonna stick with it until I get some adrenaline in the game. And if it's still not there, then we'll think about something. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
No, I'm
that's
right
like the
there.
that's like the pitcher's nightmares. Like the off season, you're like,
Uh-huh.
shoot, it might not be there. But
I will say, I will say that's kind of why I'm doing stuff differently now. Because last couple years, like last year, I had some health stuff, not arm related,
Mhm.
in the beginning in spring training. But I like all of December, I didn't lift. It was like my heart related stuff, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so I came to camp, and I was just like grunting, trying to like hit. And this is before big league camp, but I'm like
Mhm.
grunting, trying to reach back for like 91. And I was like, this isn't good. Like,
Yeah, it's
if I
not
can't,
normal.
if no, like I'm usually just freeze. I'm not a 99, 98 guy. I'm probably more 4 to 3 to 6, but it's like I usually got 1 to 2 in my back pocket like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But then as we started going, I was like, okay, well, I need to see, can I get back? And I eventually got back during the season, whatever. But this year, I just started ramping back up. Like the last 2 weeks, I've done pull downs, and it's like I'm starting to see the 94, 95, not overdoing it, but like kind of getting after it. And it's like, okay, like it's in there. I think it's in there.
And
So
then,
yeah, we'll see. Bullpens are coming up short. Like I think the schedule has me throwing, or like I talked to Ricky Meinhold and stuff, and I think our schedule is the first week of January. Like I've been throwing for a while now. I didn't play in the fall league or anything. I got hurt in the middle of the year, but I just said I'm gonna come back and really hit it hard this off season. But I think maybe after Christmas, like that Friday, I might throw a light pen just to kind of see where I'm at. But yeah, I definitely relate to the you try, like if it's not there, you start running through your mind like what do I gotta do, what I gotta do, what I gotta do. But no, it's
oh
all
yeah,
good.
absolutely. Well, that's good that you hit 5 on a pull down. That
Yeah,
that eases you up a little mentally, and like going through your throwing program.
absolutely.
Now you can like just be free and loose, which honestly is probably how you throw the hardest. Just be free and loose, and we already put in all the work and strength, so
Exactly.
we got it.
Exactly.
I want to see Hayden get up to 220 as well for the
Hey,
season. I think that would be a
we're
sight to see.
at 208, and that's the heaviest I've ever been. So we're
208. There you go.
208.
I'd like to see it.
If I get 220, we look like a different specimen out there. It ain't gonna be that little 6 foot Twitch guy anymore. 208, 205 is right where I need to be right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's plenty too.
I don't know what that phrase is. I keep hearing from like some of the orgs, but all I hear these days is more mass equals gas. So you got to get on it, Hayden. I don't know what you're doing.
I think that might be the facility mentality, not the organization.
Compare that I was 190 last year, 195. We're in a better spot.
There it is.
So,
all right. I did have an important question for you, Spencer. I know Hayden was probably dying to figure this one out or not. So I remember seeing a photo of Hayden from the Toronto's social media. I think they put it on Twitter and Instagram of Hayden walking into the complex during spring training, and he was wearing a nice Blues jersey walking in. I think it might have been a Bennington. I don't know what it was. Can we ask, are you going to join him wearing Blues jerseys? Are you a St. Louis fan? I know you're Columbia, so you could be either or. So which one are you?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely a St. Louis sports fan. I'm not a huge hockey guy, but I grew up a Cardinals fan, and then I never really had an allegiance to the Chiefs or the Rams. I lean more Chiefs, but I have 2 siblings that live in Kansas City, and all my aunts and uncles live in Kansas City. But I'm a Missouri fan at heart for football and stuff and basketball.
Okay.
But if you wear a Blues jersey, I might have to buy one and rock it with you.
All right, that's good to know. We got Plasmeyer too, so
Plasmeyer, and maybe Morozes will get one. He might join the bandwagon.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know I get a lot of heat for being in Buffalo. I wear my Chiefs jersey a lot, and that's not
it's not necessarily
not a fan favorite, but I rock it.
They might abuse you up there. Yeah, you might want to not do that.
Yeah. I wore it a couple of times, but there was one. It was funny. We made a trade with the Yankees, and a couple years back, and I wore my Chiefs jersey in, and somebody commented, it was like, "Why are we trading this player? We should be trading Juenger instead. He can't be wearing." And I was like, "Okay, like." Yeah. Disown me. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm over here.
We're all laughing about it in the locker room. But
yeah. You can't pay attention to the burner verse. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah. No. Yep.
It's dangerous.
Spencer, are you a social media guy? Like I know you're an Instagram guy, but are you are you one of those guys that's searching the name on Twitter? And because there's a lot of guys out there that won't admit that, but how much do you look into everything?
I like Twitter a lot. During the Rule 5, like I was pretty in tune with what people were saying about the draft and whatnot, and like possibilities for me or whatnot. But yeah, just Twitter and Instagram. I try and stay off TikTok because the doom scroll.
Oh, yeah.
But Twitter's a good place for whatever, like news, sports, comedy. Or X, I guess. So I would say X is the most used for me for sure.
Okay. I have one question left for you, and I'm gonna I let Hayden do this sometimes where I let him ask the very last question. So Hayden, be thinking of what you're gonna ask
Gotcha.
while I ask
The
this one
spot.
here. I do like asking, especially for yourself, that you're going to a new org now, and you got one of the guys that you're going to be sharing, most likely sharing a locker room with during spring training. But what do you do off the field? Like, what are you into when you're not, on at the facility? Like, what are you doing?
Definitely a golfer. I golf a lot if I can and can afford it. It's expensive out here and Arizona, but definitely a golfer. And I just like anything competing, like whether it's like pickleball, I've picked up. I like pickleball a lot. Um, I used to play basketball. Can't do that anymore as a pro. But yeah, golf, pickleball, hanging out with family. I love spending time with family and friends, watching movies at nighttime. I don't know, pretty normal guy.
Very normal
Swimming.
guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I love ping pong, stuff like that. Or
You're-
yeah, watching sports games. If there is a Missouri sports game on, like football or basketball, I'm watching it. Whether if I have a TV, I'll watch it on that. But if it's not a TV, I'll watch it on my phone. So
Okay. Are you heading up? I don't know when. I forgot when you just told me you're heading down to Florida, but are you going to be heading over to
oh
Jacksonville for a nice bowl game?
I am in Florida currently. I'm already here in Dunedin at the
Yeah, you
training
said you're
facility.
heading back to
But
Missouri for
yeah,
Christmas.
going to Missouri.
But
I
yeah,
think the bowl game was the 27th or 28th, and so I will
yeah,
not be making
that's
that.
fair.
And yeah, it's just hard. And it's not the college football playoff. Like,
Yeah, it's tough.
come on, Tigers.
It's
I'm kidding.
tough, man. Well, Drinkers
But
wants the bowl games to matter, all right? So he wouldn't like hearing that, but
yeah.
that's all right.
But no, he's a great coach, and I think he has the program going in a good direction and whatnot. So I think within the next 3 years, hopefully next year he's in a playoff, but I think you give him 3 more years and he's in a playoff. So we'll
Well, let's
see.
hope, man. I like that. I like the attitude there. I'm trying my best to think the way you are. But all right, Hayden, we will stop talking about Mizzou. I know you're a Missouri State guy, so
No,
we'll
no, no,
stop.
no.
But
I'm partial to Mizzou now. My fiance's dad went there, and
Okay.
we're a Mizzou guy. No, I can't say I'm a Mizzou guy at heart because that's not the
Yeah.
case.
yeah, it's
But
tough.
I do watch Mizzou football.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good team to watch too. I mean,
It's a good team to watch.
yeah, they're
Yes.
blue collar and they compete and
Yes.
like they'll run some trick plays. They're just fun to watch. I
Yes.
think
They're fun to watch.
everyone could agree on that.
Yeah, sometimes. But Missouri State, by the way,
Yeah.
kind of a fun
Shout
football
out
team
Bears.
now.
Shout out
Where
There
they
it
Bears.
is.
Yes.
8-5.
Eight
Bowl?
and bowl game. However, Ryan Beard just went for Coastal, so
Mm-hmm.
kind of hurts. But
Which
I get it.
is that necessarily that much better?
No.
So I'm gonna say no, but I was laying on our trainer's table the other day out at the sports barn, and we were talking about it, and I googled it, what his salary was at Missouri State, and the rumor is it's going to be about 600K more. So he's making, I think, I don't know, it could be right or wrong, but it said like around 450, and the rumor is it could be 1.1 a year.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
And with that,
I
I'm sure
just
there's
think,
NIL buffer.
yeah, I think Coastal, one being or BCS longer, I think helps. But then
Mm-hmm.
I think Coastal might just have a little more money involved in the program.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I get it. Like I get it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I always like asking more of a personal question at the end, just because it's fun. But
Love
Mhm.
that.
you kind of hit on it earlier, and I'm curious because I'm a guy that I have a lot of innings in minor league baseball, but particularly in AAA, and never being hurt until last year in my life.
Mhm.
What was it like mentally? Like you said, follow you kind of not you don't you felt safe there, but it was almost like a do or die.
Yeah.
What were you doing like those 3 years when you were hurt? What were you like? How were you like? Congrats to you for getting through it, but
Mhm.
like mentally, how was that on you?
Yeah. Well, I will say, like, being drafted in, like, the 4th round and like playing at Mizzou and in college, you're kind of like in the majors, like you're on a team and you're competing for the national championship, and then you get to the minors, and it's like I got to make it to the top to even think about competing for that, right? So I think that transition was a little weird on me. And then you throw in an injury, and now like you don't even get to do that, and you're just like, especially as a rookie with all your buddies, they're going to play, and like if you have a good year as an earlier draft, you could make it to Double A, like or Triple A. I don't know, you could make it to the majors, but I think it was the first year was the hardest on me mentally. It seemed like it was an eternity, like it seemed like rehab was 24 months, but the first year was the hardest, and then I got through that, went home, and that was a good decompress. Like watching Mizzou games, being with my family, my brother, my sisters, mom and dad. We got a new dog that year, and so that was nice. And then I go back out, and I'm like, all right, clean bill of health, clean slate. Like I got that year behind me. That sucked, whatever. And then you go out and like, like you rip your flexor up. I'm throwing bullpens. I'm like, damn, here we go. And then so I do the PRP 6 weeks. That puts me in like June something, whatever. I'm throwing in games, and then like something's just not quite right. And then sure enough, like I throw in a game, and my velocity because the adrenaline would come back a little bit, and then like the next bullpen I'd be throwing 81, and I'm like I haven't thrown 81 since Vietnam, so like something's wrong. And so I go see Dr. Meister. Sure enough, it's torn. We get surgery, and I got surgery, and then I met my girlfriend actually that year in 24, and I've been with her since, and that has really made it easier on me. Her coming to visit me, and having someone special in your life constantly visiting
Absolutely.
you and hyping you up and everything. So I would say that is a huge kicker on why the latter half of 24 and then all through 25 in the fall league have been much easier. And then I think like when you're getting closer to being healthy, maybe it's just because you're in a happier spot. But like I felt like my family had come out more or whatnot. But I'm sure
Yeah.
that's not true. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like getting healthy and playing in the fall league and competing. It was pretty magical, especially being hurt for so long. So I mean,
For sure.
and growing in my faith with the man upstairs. So I think doing that, doing all the right things, getting good people in your life surrounding you. I don't think it's ever going to be easy. I mean, even in the bigs, like you got to stay. You make it. Now the next problem is how can I stay? So I think taking every step one at a time and really being present with it all and in the moment, that helps everything. So I think
Absolutely.
that's how I did it.
Yeah. Good answer. Oh, I like that.
You and Hayden are a lot alike. I mean, Hayden is just recently engaged, so he's got that going for him. He's
Let's
also
go.
a
Yep.
man of
Yep.
God over there. He's
Congrats.
got that
Yeah.
going for him as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
I don't know. That's one of the best answers we've had so far. Hayden.
That
So,
I will say that's probably 100% the best answer for sure.
yeah, I mean, all love to my guy Nick Sogard, but he'd not give that good of an answer. But all right, Spencer.
I'm sure that's not true.
No, we love Sogi. All
Yep.
right, Spencer, we appreciate you a ton. Obviously, wishing you best of luck heading into your first spring training with a new org in pro ball,
Yeah.
and obviously hanging out with this guy Hayden over here.
Yeah.
But thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing this.
And I'll meet you in person, Hayden, soon.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I'll
Andrew,
see you soon.
yeah, thank y'all, and thank you for having me on. And yeah, it is the first spring training as well, first real
Yep.
one, being
Yep.
healthy. So
Yep.
we'll see.